Good morning, guys. There you are. You're back again. As you know, I've already started the revision work for the lesson Lost Spring Stolen Childhood by Anish Young. And I have already told you about the story of Sahib. Today, we'll be doing the story of Mukesh, the boy who used to live at Firozabad in UP. The first time when the narrator Anish Young met Mukesh, the first thing, the moment she looked at him, this was what he had suggested to her. I will be a motor mechanic. It was almost like an announcement. He announced it to her. And when he was told that there was no garage in and around Firozabad, he said yes, he was ready to walk down that extra distance to reach the nearest home in order to help him learn the skills how to fix a motor. That suggested how determined he was. His sense of resolve, tenacity, that's what exactly the narrator was taken by. As everybody else in Firozabad, wherever you would go, one thing you would get to see about would be to the people engaging in business of making bangles. Anyone and everyone would be making bangles of all sorts of colors, hues, and it would appear as they were the one who would be making the bangles for the entire world. Mukesh's family also was one of them among. There would be some 20,000 odd children sitting in a dingy cells without air and light. And it seemed they would all be sitting close to the furnace where they slogged their daylight hours, often losing their eyesight in the process. It seemed that their eyes were more accustomed, adjusted to the darkness of that dingy room and the brightness of the furnace rather than the outside daylight. Mukesh volunteered to take the narrator Anish Young to his home because it was they who had a home of their own. His father had been able to provide a roof over their head. Nothing else he had been able to do other than a roof, even which was a leaking roof. He was very honest. He said he was a tailor earlier. He said he didn't know anything. He didn't have any other skills except the bangle making. That's what he had been able to pass on to his own children. Mukesh, his elder brother, his wife, and his grandmother. His grandmother also used to live with, and an old lady who had lost her eyesight. Same was with her husband. When she was asked, she said this was the God-given lineage. And how could they not accept it? That was their karma, their destiny. When the narrator went down to meet them at Mukesh's house, a frail young woman was cooking for the evening meal for the whole family. Through her eyes filled with smoke, she smiled, as she knew the narrator was a guest and she had not forgotten her custom of welcoming the guest. She was Mukesh's elder brother's wife, and she herself was a young girl. She had already started commanding respect from all the three male members of the family. Mukesh's father, who himself was an emaciated, hunger-stricken old man. Mukesh's elder brother and Mukesh. There she also met a young girl, Savita, who along with other family members was sitting and welding glasses, giving wonderful shape and colors to different glass pieces. And she might not be knowing the true sanctity significance of the bangles that she would be making till the time one day some wonderful bangles would be rolled onto her own wrist. Most probably that would be the time she would get to learn the true significance of those bangles. And one thing was common. Wherever one would go, one thing could be heard about echoing in every household of Firozabad. Apathy, poverty, not enough to eat, and exploitation by the people in power. Politician, bureaucrats, moneylender, Sahukar. And when she suggested why couldn't they come together to form a cooperative so that they might be able to look into their own interest, they said they were scared of, skeptical about. Even if they dared to do, first and foremost, they never had any education, no skills, no leader who might be able to make them see things with a different perspective. Even if they dared to do so, it was they most probably would be hauled up, beaten, abused, tortured. And which was why they were all scared of. Every child born there is burdened with poverty and suffering. They cannot dare to dream. And which was what? Uniquely different, because they had accepted their life as their karma. And the narrator said she had found two distinct worlds. She said, listening to them, I found two distinct worlds. One of the family caught in a wave of poverty, burdened by stigma of caste in which they were born. And the other, and the vicious circle of Sahukar, the moneylenders, the policemen, and the keepers of the law, bureaucrats. And there was another distinct world of Sahib and Mukesh, who never really accepted their destiny as their karma. They dared to challenge, stand against, and do something different, dare to dream and dare to challenge. And which was why they were uniquely different. Sahib and Mukesh, they had expectation. They were aware of their destitution, poverty, in spite of both of them were dreamers. They had aspiration. They aspired to have a good life. Want to do something different rather than what had been thought of being God-given lineage, a destiny, a karma, and which was what had made them distinctly standing out among the crowds. And that's the two different worlds the narrator has said. Knowing it fully well that it won't be easy and simpler for them to dare to challenge and dare to dream for. But they were ready to do that extra because of their sense of resolve, tenacity, and which was what had made them standing out. Mukesh wanted to be a motor mechanic, and Sahib wanted to live his life. If he could, he wanted to play tennis, but he knew it would be beyond his reach. But then he always wanted to acquire education to make a difference with his life. And that's how both of them were very, very different. They hadn't accepted their destiny, their karma as their destiny. They wanted to do something different. They dared to dream and dream to dare. And which was what had been made them distinctively, uniquely different. That's it. Thank you so much. That's it for today. Thank you so much.